Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So welcome all of you for this wonderful session of the Gita course. I apologize for the short delay which has happened from my side due to some unavoidable circumstances. If you can hear my voice very clearly, and if you have no problem in viewing the screen, then you can please raise your hands. Okay, thank you. So, to save time, we will skip the Kirtan today and directly we'll go to the Pranam mantras and then we'll chant the Bhagavad Gita chapter. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshitarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangham Langhayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tatsat. Hare Krishna. So quickly we will recite today the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Maybe from the future sessions, just to avoid the monotony, the devotees can take turn. You can nominate yourself. You can message me or the people who are in touch with you, your mentors or your the various other volunteers which are there. You can message them that you would like to recite the chapter. Today we are reciting the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, if I'm not wrong. So devotees can nominate themselves for that. We also would like to do Damodar Ashtakam. So devotees can nominate themselves for singing Damodar Ashtakam also. Yeah, these two activities devotees can nominate. So let me share my screen. Today, 9th chapter says the most confidential knowledge. So you know how to go here, vedabase.io, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9. And in order to recite, I will change from the default view to the advanced view. And there, I will select only the Devanagari text, the verse text. I do not want the word-to-word meanings, synonyms right now, so I'll remove it. As of now, I don't want translation also. I don't want the purport also. So that's how the view will come. So for recitation purpose, we use this kind of a view. And later on, when I also want to see the translation, maybe I'll just turn this translation on. So I'll see the translation also. So it's a very, very useful tool. Please make good use of it. And this is not made by full people who are working somewhere. This is made by devotees. So Please make good use of this website. Chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. Very, very important chapter. Shri Bhagavan idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyami anusuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshayase shubhat राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रम् इदमुत्तमं प्रत्यक्ष्वागममं धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम् अश्रद्धधानः पुरुषा धर्मस्यास्य धर्मस्यास्य परं तप अप्राप्य मां निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि मया ततम् इदं सर्वं जगत् अव्यक्तमूर्तिना मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि न चाहं तेष्वस्थितः न च मत्स्थानि भूतानि पश्य मे योगैश्वरम् भूतभृन्न च भूतास्थो ममात्मा भूतभावनः यथा काशस्थितो नित्यं वायुः सर्वत्र गो महान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानित्य उपधारय सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकां कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहं प्रकृतिं स्वाम् अवष्टभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्रामम् इमं कृत्स्नम् अवशं प्रकृतेर्वशात् न च मां तानि कर्माणि निबद्धन्ति धनञ्जय उदासीन वदासीनम् असक्तं तेषु कर्मसु मयध्यक्षेण प्रकृतिः सूयते सचराचरं हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगद्विपरिवर्तते अवजानान्ति मां मूढा मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितं परं भावम् अजानन्तो मम भूता महेश्वरम् मोघाशमोघकर्माणो मोघज्ञानविचेष्टसः राक्षसीम् आसुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रितः महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्य अनन्यमनसो ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम् सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रतः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्त उपासते ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ने यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम् अहं क्रतुर् अहं यज्ञः स्वधाहम् अहम् औषधम् मन्त्रोऽहम् अहमेवाज्यम् अहम् अग्निरहं हुतम् पिताहम् अस्य जगतो माता धाता पितामहः वेद्यं पवित्रमोंकार ऋक्साम यजुरेव च गतिर्भर्ता प्रभुः साक्षी निवासः शरणं सुहृत् प्रभवः प्रलयः स्थानं निधानं बीजमव्ययम् तपाम्य अहं वर्षं निघृणाम्य उत्सृजामि च अमृतं चैव मृत्युश्च असच्चाहम् अर्जुन here the meter will change. त्रैविद्यमां सोमपः पूतपापा यज्ञैरिष्ट्वा स्वर्गतिं प्रार्थयन्ते ते पुण्यमसादाय असाद्य सुरेन्द्रलोकम् अश्नाति दिव्यान् दिवि देव भोगान् ते ताम भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालं क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्मम् अनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं काम काम लभन्ते अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेम वहाम्यहम् येऽप्य अन्यदेवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्वितः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्य अविधिपूर्वकम् अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्त च प्रभुरेव च न तु माम् अभिजानन्ति तत्त्वे नातश्च्यवन्ति ते यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितृव्रतः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तद अहं भक्त्या उपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः यत्करोषि यद् आश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत् तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् शुभ शुभ फलैरेवं मोक्ष्यसे कर्म बन्धनैः संन्यास योग युक्तात्मा विमुक्तो माम् उपैस्यसि समोहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम् अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शाश्वत शान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्ता प्रणश्यति मां हि पार्थ व्यपाश्रित्य ये पेष्युपापयो नयः स्त्रियो वैश्यस्तथा शूद्राश् तेऽपि यान्ति परां गतिं किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणः पुण्या भक्तराजर्षयस्तथा अनित्यम् असुखं लोकम् इमं प्राप्य भजस्व मां मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मदयाजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यसि युक्त्वैवम् आत्मनं मत्परायणः हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So this was a very, very powerful chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. All chapters are powerful, but this chapter is very, very instructive for sadhakas like us. Very, very important. So we will now read the translation. Okay, there are some verses which you may not be able to understand when you read the translation. You may find it a little contradictory. You may sometimes Bhagavad Gita shakes some people, shakes the concepts of some people. So in that case, don't be bewildered, don't become upset. Just try to go and read this chapter. Essentially speaking, if somebody wants to understand this chapter, they have to read the purports of the chapter also, because in the purports, Srila Prabhupada has actually explained what this actually means, this verse actually means. And the explanations which are given in the purport, they are as it is and in line with the explanations given by the previous acharyas. So now we will read the translation. I again repeat, do not become upset or bewildered, because I can see there are some verses in this chapter which is going to shake some concepts here and there. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. If you don't have time to ask me, you can go ahead and read 5 verses before and 5 verses afterwards of that verse and try to read the purports also. Okay? Translation, text number 1. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. I really love this verse. Raja Vidya Rajguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam. So this chapter is called as Raja Vidya, the king of all education. Maybe someday I would like to give a class on this verse. Text 3. Those who are not faithful in devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. By me, in my unmanifested form, the entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation. Understand that the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky. All created beings rest in me. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. The whole cosmic order is under me. My will, under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Fools deride me when I descend in my human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be. Those who are thus bewildered and attracted by demonic and atheistic views, those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, their culture of knowledge are all defeated. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of divine nature. This divine nature is what? The mercy of Srimati Radharani. That is the divine nature, the internal potency of Krishna. So those who are not deluded, the great souls, they are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as one without a second, as diverse in many, and in the universal form. But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, Sam, and Yajur Vedas. This verse is also very nice. And one can ask many questions on this verse. That Krishna is appearing like a 17-year-old boy, 16, 17-year-old boy. Advaitam Acyutam Manadim Ananta Rupam Adyam Puran Purusham Nava Yauvanam Cha. He's Yauvan. Although he's Yauvan, but he's the grandsire of the entire creation. So there are some philosophies or religions which project God as an old man with a great beard, trying to punish everybody, make them realize their sins and feel ashamed. So that is not the way God has to be approached. God should be we should understand that God, although he's the grandsire, but he's Nav Yauvan. Another question which may come is, there are 4 Vedas, Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur Ved, and Atharv Ved. Why Krishna is telling I am also the Rig, the Sam, and the Yajur Vedas? Question maybe devotees can take and think about it. Maybe we can try to discuss this in the class. Text 18. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place and the eternal seed. O Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Those who seek the sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. But those who worship me, this verse 22 to 25 are very important. Please listen. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Those who are the devotees of other gods, you can see it as demigods, those who are the devotees of other demigods and who worship them with faith, actually worship me only, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way, avidhi purvakam. I am the enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship the ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. In every other place, there is birth, birth, birth. Those who worship me, they will live with me. That means one gets eternal life. If one offers me, very famous, text number 26, if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. In this way, you will be freed from the bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me, in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Text 30. Sometimes we see some devotees, we do not understand their action. And then we say, oh, he has fallen. He is a sinner. Krishna here clearly says, even if one commits some most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Meaning to say, if we find some devotee doing something which we think is not good or which is not proper, then we should not become the judge there, because Krishna personally has taken responsibility of the devotee. It is his problem. Krishna will take care and purify him. We are no one to call that devotee a sinner or a fallen person or diverted and things like that. Even if he has done the most abominable thing, he is to be considered as a sadhu or a saint. This is Krishna's order. This is Krishna's order. Text 31. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. I'll give a background of this. Why Krishna is telling Arjuna to declare it boldly that Name Bhakta Pranashyati, my devotee will never perish. Indra had promised Menaka and Urvashi and all that, you go, you disturb Vishwamitra, nothing will happen to you, I'll protect you. But what happened? They all died. Similarly, Ravana had got many benedictions from Brahma, Shiva, and so many, but none of them could save him. It's only Krishna who can make such a statement that my devotee never perishes. Name bhakta pranashyati. And why is he asking Arjuna to declare it boldly? Because Krishna's Bhaktvatsal nature overpowers all his other potencies. He had taken a vow that I will not lift any weapon, but in order to protect his devotee and in order to fulfill the desire of another devotee, Bhishma, he lifted the chariot wheel of a broken chariot. So Krishna is beyond all these human society rules and regulations. He is God. So therefore, he thought that if I will say Name Bhakta Pranashyati, people will say, Arey, Krishna keeps breaking his promise. But Satyam Vidhatum Nijabhritya Bhashitum Vyaptim Cha Bhuteshu Akhileshu Chatmana. Whatever a devotee of Krishna says, that has to come true. Just like Narad Muni told Nal Kuvera and Manigriv that Krishna will deliver you. So Krishna had nothing to do with these spoiled sons of Kuvera. But because the devotee said so, it had to happen. So therefore, Krishna takes that basis and he says, Arjuna, O son of Kunti, declare boldly that my devotee never perishes. Meaning to say that the statements of the devotees of Krishna are even more potent than the statements of Krishna, because Krishna becomes obliged. That's why when some devotee will bless, then mercy comes before turn to those people. Okay, text 32. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, and Shudras, can attain the supreme destination. How much more this is so for the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees, and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. Text 34, which is like the best sloka, always quoted. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Thank you very much. With this, we have concluded the beautiful recitation of chapter 9. Chapter 10 is going to be for those people who really like to know about Krishna and his opulences and his energies. Chapter 10 is really beautiful. Arjuna asks in the chapter 10 that explain to me about your energies. So Krishna starts explaining. That we will recite also very soon. I understand that some verses may have not been understood by you, or some verses may have confused you, and there is specifically one verse here which will shake some people. Please understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and he is the absolute truth. It is not that he spoke something very right in the first two verses and then went crazy in the third verse and then got proper frame of mind in the fourth verse. So third verse has to be ignored and nothing like that. All the verses are absolute truth. If something is shaking you, then please go and read 5 verses before, 5 verses afterward. Especially the verse which is shaking you, read the purport of it. Truth or the light of knowledge can sometimes be blinding also. Okay. Thank you very much. So with this, we end the recitation of the Bhagavad Gita. And the next activity which we would like to do is hearing a lecture of Srila Prabhupada. Last time we were hearing this 2.17. I think we heard till about 20 minutes. And after that, we left it. Can somebody remind me, was it 20 minutes or 25 minutes? I'm sorry, I'm a little less prepared today. You can type in the chat box if you remember. Okay, then we'll assume it is 20 minutes and we'll hear from 20 to 35. That is 15 minutes we'll hear and we'll share some points. After that, we'll do the Damodarashtakam and we'll chant one round and then we'll go for question and answers. So I will again share my screen so that I can share the computer sound also. So we'll listen from 2 minutes before, from 18 minutes we will put it. Okay, so are you all ready to hear this Srila Prabhupada lecture? If you are, then you can kindly please raise your hands. Thank you. So please listen very, very carefully and try to jot down some points after the lecture is over. That means after 15 minutes, we'll have a short discussion where we'll all share some points which we like to take home with us. If we have any clarifications, we can ask also. This is called as Shravanam. Bhakti begins with Shravanam. Everything begins with hearing. Shukdev Goswami was telling Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, that is hearing. Similarly, when we come to these sessions, we are basically hearing each other. You are hearing me and I am taking your questions, so I am hearing you. This hearing is very, very powerful. Simply if we chant nicely and if we hear sincerely, then we can just go back home, back to God. Okay, so we begin.
Demons came to fight with him, to kill him. Even when he was a child, the Putana demon came to kill him by poisoning. But Krishna is so kind that Putana smeared over her breast poison, and Krishna sucked the breast and sucked her life also. But she was given liberation, the position of mother. Krishna is so kind, that is supreme consciousness, that however this demon, Putana, was innocent or ignorant, she came to kill me without knowing that I cannot be killed. That is her ignorance. But so far I am concerned, I have touched her breast as mother, therefore she should be given the position of mother. Like Jasodama. This is Krishna. She felt in himself so much of life because this is service, just like mother gives service to the child without any return. She gives from the very beginning of her life within the womb. The mother feeds the child. The process is given by nature, but mother feeds. Therefore, when pregnant, the mother should not eat any pungent things because it will give to the tender skin and heart of the child. She should eat only very simple things, but they have no conscience. They are now killing. What to speak of maintaining the child very nicely, that there is a child, my son or my daughter, she must be provided with all comforts in the womb. There is no motherly affection in this Kali Yuga. In the material world, motherly affection is considered to be the highest form of love. But the Kali Yuga is so polluted that mother is also giving up her love for the children. Just imagine what is the Kali Yuga. Manda sumanda matayo, manda bhagyajpadita. So, this Kali Yuga is so strong that it attracts even the so-called devotees also. Kali Yuga is very strong. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended that if you want to save yourself, if you at all desire to take the position of Amrita, if you are interested, nobody is interested. Krishna says, Amrita taya kalpate. That is the aim of life. How I shall become immortal? How I shall not become subjected to the four principles of distress, condition, birth, death, disease and all. Nobody is serious. They are so dull. Therefore, they have been described munda. Munda means so bad, so rascal, that they have no ambition of life. They do not know what is the goal of life. Munda. Munda means bad. And sumanda matayo. and eat some of them just to become little recognized as very religious. He will accept some rascal as guru, magician, and eat everything, do everything, and become spiritualist. And his rascal guru will say, yes, you can eat anything, you can do anything. Religion has nothing to do with eating. It is going on. The Christian people, it is explicitly, clearly said, thou shalt not kill, but they are killing. Still they are conscious, they are very much proud, I am Christian. And what kind of Christian you are? You are regularly disobeying the order of Christ, and still you are Christian. So everything is going on. Either Christian, Mohammedan or Hindus, so-called, all of them have become rascals. That's all. This is Kali. Manda, Sumanda, Matayo. They have created their own imaginary religious principle, and therefore they are condemned. They do not know the Adanta Gopi Visadang Kamistram Punachar Vitacharvanana. The life is, the aim of life is to realize God. This is human life. But they are so much embarrassed with these uncontrollable senses that they are going to the darkest region of material existence. Adanta Gopi. Adanta means uncontrolled. They cannot control the senses. They have become so unfortunate that simple thing, little effort, little austerity to control the senses. The yoga process means to control the senses. Yoga does not mean that he shows some magic. The magician also can show magic. We have seen one magician, he created immediately so much coins. Tang. Next moment it is all finished. So, the light, that missing, the aim of life. Manda sumanda matayo. Why? Manda bhagya. The unfortunate. So you take it for granted. We are trying, even our King's consciousness mission, we are trying to awaken. Still they are so unfortunate that cannot give up sense gratification. So unfortunate. Condemned unfortunate. Repeatedly we are spending our gallons of blood. Don't do this. Still they are doing it. Cannot give up even sleeping. So condemned. Kali Yuga. Manda sumanda matayo. So it is very difficult with these rascals. Very, very difficult. Therefore, my Guru Maharaj is Guru Maharaj. Gaur Krishna Das Maharaj. They are not preaching. They are disgusted that I have no power to reform these rascals. Better don't bother. Let them go to hell, at least let me. But still, my Guru Maharaj preached. You are so kind. And he asked us also to do the same thing. But it is very, very difficult job. People are so rascal, so condemned, so sinful. It is very, very difficult to raise them. Very difficult. Manda samanda matayo, manda bhagya. So only those who are very fortunate, they will understand that I am eternal, abhinashi, I am imperishable. I am put into this condition of perishable condition due to this my material body. So how to get out of it? They have no ambition. Just like dogs and cats. Simply sense gratification. Abhinatha Krishna is so kind how? Very clearly explains. You try to understand what is the soul. So who does not understand there is consciousness all over the body? Tati viddhi, jena sarvamidam tatham. They will jump over, yes, I am the Supreme God. God's consciousness is also spread all over. That's all right. But is your consciousness spread all over the universe? Both of us, we are conscious. But he is supreme conscious. Therefore, his consciousness is spread all over the universe, all over the creation. In the 13th chapter, you will find Krishna says, Khetragam cha mang vidhi sarva khetresu bharat. I am a khetraga. Super soul. What is the difference between super soul and soul? Soul, consciousness, is spread all over this body. You are soul. Your consciousness spread all over your body. I am soul. My consciousness spread all over body. But my consciousness not spread all over your body. Neither your consciousness spread all over my body. But God's, Krishna's consciousness is spread over your body and my body, his body and everything. So, Krishna is super or the supreme because his consciousness is spread all over the universe. You cannot hide anything from Krishna. That is not possible. You cannot hide. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta. After all, you are making your plan with your heart and soul. The soul is there, and the heart is there, mind is there. Now you are making plan, but you cannot hide the plan from the consciousness of Krishna. He is sitting there. That is super conscious. One, you know, Aurobindo, he was trying to get super consciousness. His philosophy is super consciousness. Anyone who is here knows about Aurobindo. That is super consciousness you cannot get. That is not possible. Super consciousness is for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. Vedaham samiti tam. Krishna says, I know everything. In the Bhagavad it is said, Janmadasya jata annayati tadatascha artheshu avijñā. The absolute truth is that from whom everything is emanated. And he knows everything. Annayat itaratascha artheshu. We have explained many times. Artheshu, just like I am conscious, but I do not know actually what is there within my body, how it is constituted, how many veins are there, how the blood is becoming red. We have no actually information. I do not know what is within this finger. I am claiming it is my finger. Yeah, it is my finger, but I do not know how the finger is constituted. Therefore I am not avijñā. Although there is my consciousness, I am not avijñā. Avijñā means expert in the knowledge. That is called avijñā, very experienced. But Krishna is avijñā. That is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna is avijñā. That is, say, Janmadasya jataha in the Bhagavad beginning. Janmadasya jataha annayat, indirectly or directly, annayat means directly, itaratascha or indirectly. We may know directly that this is my finger. But indirectly I do not know what is the constitution finger, how it is working, how it is moving. You do not know. I know directly this is my hair. But indirectly, how I am cutting here and again it is growing, it is unknown. I say these are my hairs, but I cannot count how many hairs are there. So I am conscious to a certain extent only, not fully. I am not avijja. I am not very expert. These are simple truths, but these rascals are claiming that I am God. The God means he is conscious, not only conscious, he is avijja, very expert, knows everything, and sarat. Now, to get avijjata or experience, we have to consult somebody. But God is sarat. Sarat means he is personally so independent that he doesn't require to take knowledge from anyone else. That is God. Sarat. Sarat means fully independent. That is it. Now how he become? Sabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. These are the descriptions in the Veda. Sabhaviki. His knowledge is very natural. Sabhavik. Just like he has something itching, immediately my hand attention. Yes. Sabhavik. It is not that I have to think, now here it is itching, what I have to do. No, immediately hand comes. Sabhavik. By nature. Similarly, when God has to create, as soon as he desires, let there be a creation, immediate creation. He hasn't got to think, make a plan, how to do it, how to execute it, where to get the ingredients. No. His energies are so perfect that as soon as he desires, everything is done. That is God. That is God. And that is happening. Maya dhakkena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. He desires prakriti, nature, immediately produce rose flower. Prakriti helps immediately. The color is coming, the beauty is coming, everything is coming. These rascals say it is automatic. No automatically. There is expert knowledge behind it. That is God. So, let us utilize this consciousness, this sense to how to understand that supreme consciousness, supreme God, because I am not supreme. Although I am conscious, I am not supremely conscious. I am not expert. God is expert. So always there is difference between God and ourselves. We cannot be equal with God. That is not possible. This is sense. Otherwise, all rascaldom, don't be victim of the rascal. Thank you very much.
So, Hare Krishna. Devotees would like to share some points, what they have heard and what they have liked. They can either type in the chat box or they can raise their hands. I'll unmute them. They can quickly say. Actually, speaking saves some time because we'll be able to cover more points. So please go ahead and share some realizations. Okay, Momita Mataji, her hand is raised. You can please speak your realization. Please unmute yourself. Momita Ray. I'm trying to unmute you. You have to unmute yourself also. Okay, I think some problem. Okay, any point, anybody? Deepala Mataji is saying Krishna is supreme, expert, anadi, other living creatures are manda or sumanda. Not fully correct. This manda and sumanda matayo, manda bhagya, this is the qualification of the living entities in Kali Yuga. So in not all ages people are manda and sumanda. So of course the first point which you are saying Krishna is supreme, expert, anadi, ananta, that is correct. Living creatures are manda and sumanda. Uh, Not fully correct, because in some other ages living entities are not very manda. In the previous age, Arjuna heard the Bhagavad Gita in 45 minutes and understood it and remembered it without having a physical copy of Bhagavad Gita for the rest of his life. How can we say he's manda and sumanda? Of course. Okay, Mataji is telling forgot to mention Kali Yuga. Okay, point cleared. Momita Mataji, I think she's ready. You can please.
Yeah, hello.
Hare
Are you able to
Krishna.
hear me? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, I can hear you.
So, what my realization is, like, many sadhus and sannyasis may be claiming that they are God, and they preach like that, and they have become super souls, something like that. So, but then it is not at all possible, because what I have heard from Srila Prabhupada, that no one can achieve to that high, that level, that super souls, whatever, like especially like us in Kali Yuga, even if we try to be equal to God, it can never happen. So may, as Aravinda Swamiji, he was mentioning, like he wanted to become, maybe even Vivekananda, what I just, I've heard, like he also wanted to become, but then he could not live through a long age, because maybe because of that thing was not, I'm just guessing, because he tried to do meditation and wanted to achieve something, but in our this kind of life we cannot achieve that. So we can be a follower, we cannot be, that's what is my realization, we
Very
cannot.
good realization. We can all be followers of God. A counter question to the statement which you have made, Mataji. You mentioned the name of some people and you said that they tried to become God, and you mentioned two names. But you said that they were not able to become God because they were not able to live long. Suppose if these people were situated in Satyuga, where the lifespan was 1 lakh years, was it possible to become God in Satyuga? What is your...
I don't think so, I don't think so, because supreme personality is only one, that is Krishna, as we have.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So this is a very big disease which has spreaded. You named some people. There are some influential people like you have named who are caught up in this wrong philosophy. I am God, you are God. Why you are searching for God in the temple? God is loitering in the streets. The concepts like political concepts like Daridra Narayan and everything. Another political concept is Manav Seva is Madhav Seva. All these stupid concoctions have come into the society. And because of these stupid concoctions, day by day, people are becoming atheists, because this is not the truth. When falsity is propagated, it hurts the consciousness of the people, and they become disgusted by it, and then they leave it. So, this concept that I'm God, you are God, we are all in the process of becoming God, this is a stupid concept. That you named a person when he went to the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago in, I think, 1896.
Correct.
When he made this statement, the Christians and the others, when they heard that we all are God, they were all disgusted by that statement. How is it possible to become God? So this is called as Mayavad theory. In the next session, not in the next session, in the further sessions of Bhagavad Gita, I will explain how this theory actually came up and why some people subscribe to this and some people don't subscribe to this. All that will be explained. However, thank you for making the point that we are all part and parcels of Krishna. A small spark of fire cannot become the big fire. Similarly, a small particle of gold cannot become a gold mine. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mamay Vamsha Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So for eternity, we are Amsha. Jiva Amsha of Krishna. Thank you. Very nice point. Thank you. It was a very, very nice discussion. Okay, Narayani Kannan Mataji is telling there are a lot of pseudo gurus who actually preach irreligious things instead of what actually is told in the scriptures. Very, very important point. Thank you, Mataji. There are so many pseudo spiritual societies and pseudo gurus. There is one very famous guru on YouTube. He says that I have not read the Bhagavad Gita ever. I don't need to read the Bhagavad Gita. Just see. And he has been accepted as a guru. And he has so many followers. This is the sad situation of the society. We don't know what is the definition of a guru. In the 5th session of Bhagavad Gita course, Do I Need a Guide? There we saw what is the definition of a guru. So just like if I'm going to buy gold, I should know what gold is and how gold looks like. Otherwise, anybody will cheat me in the name of gold. So similarly, if I don't know what is the definition of guru, qualification of guru, and then I end up with someone who claims to be a guru, not connected to any guru parashishya parampara, never read the scriptures, not following the scriptures. He basically, most of the spiritual societies and pseudo gurus, they are all upstarts. They have started their parampara. I never served my guru. I never took any instruction from him. But I am a guru, you have to accept me. I never read the Bhagavad Gita, but my authority is that whatever I say, you have to accept. This is going on. So thank you. Deepmala Golnani Mataji is further adding, this is also correct, that people don't want to do any austerities, and by enjoying everything, they want liberation and are misguided by fake gurus. Correct. Abhishek Mishra Prabhuji is adding, worst problem is that Bhagavad Gita is there in every Hindu household, but no one reads it. They show incense and stick to it. Incense sticks to it and worship it. Yeah. And this is actually a point. Sometimes when we distribute the Bhagavad Gita in the streets, people say, "ये तुम लोगों ने गीता का business बना के रख दिया है." I also have a Gita. I have taken the Gita and I have folded it in a red cloth and I've tied it nicely from all corners and I've strung it to the top of my puja room. And once in a year, I show sticks to it, incense sticks. This is the way we should respect Bhagavad Gita. What is this bringing Bhagavad Gita to the streets? Because of you people, like that they scold us. Their concept is take a Bhagavad Gita, take a red cloth, tie nice knots from 5 sides and tongue those ko kahin par. Some people say, I don't need Bhagavad Gita because my grandmother has Bhagavad Gita. She used to teach me in childhood, so I don't need. Many people say, अरे गीता में क्या लिखा है? कर्म करो, फल की चिंता मत करो. हमको तो सब मालूम है. अरे हमको क्या पढ़ा रहे हैं? बचपन से तो पढ़ते आ रहे हैं. हमारे बाप, some people say, हमारे बाप दादा पढ़ते आए हैं. Our grandfathers and fathers have been reading it. So as if the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is coming in the bloodline. Those crazy statements they will make. This is true. Okay, any other realizations related to the lecture? Any other point which you reflected upon, which you liked? Please think. There were so many points in these 15 minutes. Please come up with some points. Okay, seems there are no points. So I would like to share one point. Prabhupada said that this concept of Adant Ghobi was there. So I'm opening it. 7th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam 5. These are the statements by Prahlad Maharaj. He is telling it to his father Hiranyakashipu. So I will just share my screen again. This is the point which really stuck to me. Let's go into the depth. And this is how No, we have to go in deep for all the points which are being said by Srila Prabhupada in the lectures. So he referred to this verse. Sri Prahalada Vacha. Let me see the meter. Matirna Krishne paratah swato va mitho bhi padyeta griha vratanam adanta gobhir vishatam tamishram punah punascharvita charvananam. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj replied, because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted in materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclinations towards Krishna are never aroused either by instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. Why? No, it's very important. Even when they try, they will not be successful. Why? Because of their uncontrolled senses, and people are too much addicted to materialistic life and make progress towards hellish conditions repeatedly. And what are they doing essentially? They are chewing the chewed. Punah punah charvita charvananam. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada has very nicely referred to this verse of Bhagavad Gita, and then Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam, very, very nice. I'll just read the first paragraph. In this verse, the words Matirna Krishna refer to devotional service rendered to Krishna. So-called politicians, erudite scholars, and philosophers who read the Bhagavad Gita try to twist some meaning out of it to suit their material purposes. But their misunderstandings of Krishna will not yield them any profit. Because such politicians, philosophers, and scholars are interested in using the Bhagavad Gita as a vehicle for adjusting things materially. For them, constant thought of Krishna or Krishna consciousness is impossible. Matirna Krishna. In the 1855 Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati, only through devotional service one can understand Krishna as he is. The so-called politicians and scholars think of Krishna as fictitious. The politician says that Krishna is different from Krishna depicted in the Bhagavad Gita. Even though he accepts Krishna and Ram as the supreme, he thinks Ram and Krishna as impersonal because he has no idea of service. Thus, his only business is punah punah charvita charvanam, chewing the chewed again and again. The aim of such politicians and academic scholars is to enjoy this material world with their bodily senses. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that those who are grihavrata, whose aim is to live comfortably within the body, with the body in the material world, cannot understand Krishna. The two expressions grihavrata charvita charvananam indicate that a materialistic person tries to enjoy sense gratification in different bodily forms, life after life, but is still unsatisfied. In the name of personalism, thisism or thatism, communism, socialism, XYZism, such persons always remain attached to the materialistic way of life. And then he quotes Bhagavad Gita verses to further explain this. The point which we are trying to make here is what does it mean to chew the chewed again and again? Suppose you are standing in front of a sugarcane juice shop, and the sugarcane wala, he is extracting the juice and he's throwing the molasses away. So that has already been, you can say it is chewed. But a person may think, I have not chewed it from that angle, let me try. So he will again try to chew it and he realizes there's no taste in it, so he throws it away. But then he again thinks, maybe there is still some juice. He again picks it up and chews it, and then he again throws it. And then after some time, he starts walking away, but then he again comes back and he says, let me try again. And then he again chews it. If somebody sees this, they will say this fellow is mad. But actually we are doing that. In every lifetime, we have had fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, sons, daughters, cats, dogs, cars, bullocks, society, friendship, degree, gun, everything. And we have all done this lifetime after lifetime again and again and again. Simply we are chewing the chewed. There is nothing in this lifetime which we are experiencing which we have not experienced before. But still, the desire to gratify the senses are still there. The itch is still there. This is called madness of material civilization. Puna puna charvita charvanama. Chewing the chewed again and again and again. They are not understanding that this chewing the chewed will never end. One can go on till infinity. And the problem in chewing the chewed is that one is not getting any rasa also. One is not getting any taste also. But false hope is coming that this time I'll get it. There are so many Panchvarshya Yojanas which have been made in India. And every time the Panchvarshya Yojana is made, they think that this time we'll be able to do it. This time we'll be able to do it. This time we'll hit the economic problem very nicely. This time we'll improve. But you can all go and check it out. No, not much substantial, no improvement has been done by all these Panchvarshya Yojanas. Why? Because they have ignored one fact, that this material world is a dukhalayam and ashashvatam, anityam, asukham. And the only way to remain happy in this material world is by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. They are thinking that if I just adjust the resources of material nature here and there, I will become happy eternally. But that is not happening. All these isms are failing. All the Panchvarshya Yojanas are failing because this essential aspect is being ignored. So this whole concept of coming up with better plans, better civic amenities, and better, this is all chewing the chewed. Puna puna charvita charvanam. All this will not help anybody. The only way one can get true help is by chanting Hare Krishna. Okay. So I think all of you have collaborated, contributed very, very nice points. I thank all of you very much. I have been informed by some of my students that today, 1 second. Okay. Had a special day. I think they have just left. No problem. So now what we will do our Damodarashtakam, and then what is the opinion? Should we take some questions or should we do Damodarashtakam? Please tell me. Because I know some people have some questions. If you have some questions, can you please raise your hand so that we can make a time estimate? Okay, Abhishek Mishra Prabhu has a question. I thought Angala Parmeshwari Mataji is also having a question. Can she also please raise her hand? Okay, anybody else? Okay, then what we will do in the interest of time, first we will quickly in 5 minutes do the Damodarashtakam, and then those devotees who are interested to hear this transcendental question and answer session, because they have asked, at least I know Mataji has asked a very, very beautiful question. So those who are interested, they can stay back, and others, they can attend to other important activities. Okay, but before we break for the Damodarashtakam, Thursday is Ekadashi. And again, we would like to do a special Ekadashi session, just like we did last time. So I will send the invite for that. It is my desire that those who don't join even on Tuesdays or even on Sundays, they should start coming on Ekadashis. Even people who are not chanting, we should encourage them that today is Ekadashi, we should chant. And then we should all join. It is my desire that hundreds and thousands of people should come for this Ekadashi sessions. So in order to give you a report, last time 87 people joined on a weekday, and totally around 990 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra was chanted. So it is my wish that this 990 becomes 2000 in the coming Ekadashi, and 87 doubles to 150. So try to bring in all friends and relatives in the name of Ekadashi. It is a generic session where people can come, they can hear something, advance. Even if they don't chant on other days, this is not for all of you, but for them, even if they don't chant on other days, that's okay. But at least on Ekadashi, they should follow this no grains concept. Even if they are eating grains, just ask them to come in this session. Somehow we want to help them spiritually. Okay, so I will quickly, we'll go to the Damodarashtakam. Share my screen. नमामेश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भ्राजमानम् यशोदाभियो लोकलाघवमानम् परं हृष्टमत्यन्ततो धृत्य गोप्या रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्र युग्मं मृजन्तम् कराम्भोजयुग्मेन सातङ्कनेत्रं मुहुश्वासकम्पा त्रिरेखङ्ककण्ठ स्थितद्रग्रैवं दामोदरं भक्तिबद्धम् इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम् तदीयशिताग्नेषु भक्तैर्जितत्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्थं शतवृत्तिवन्दे वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षं वधिं वा न चन्यं वृणेऽहं वरेशादपि इदं ते वपुरनाथ गोपाल बालम् सदा मे मनस्याविरष्टं किमन्ये इदं ते मुखाम्भोजमात्यन्तनीलय वृतं कुन्तलैः स्निग्धरक्तैश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्याविरष्टम् अलं लक्ष्यलाभे नमो देवदामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालाभिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदीनं बतानु गृहणेश मामद्य मेध्यक्षिदृश्य कुबेरात्मजौ बद्ध मूर्त्यैव यद्वा त्वया मोचितौ भक्ति भाजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थिदामोदरेहा नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने सुरदीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायाथ विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. We'll quickly read the translation. To the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in the fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her who ran after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound not with ropes but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all the kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any boon which may be obtained by executing the nine processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bal Gopal in Vrindavan may be ever manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by the locks of soft black hair, is tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you, O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodar, just as the two sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvara, were delivered from the curse of Narad and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby, tied with a rope, tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodar, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord who displays unlimited pastimes. Hare Krishna. So now we can take some questions. Who would like to ask first? Since Mataji has asked me this question first, so we will give her a chance. Please come online. Gala Parameshwari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, I am having a doubt on chapter 18 and verse number 17. So in the purport, we see that third line.
One second, should we open that for the benefit of everybody? Should we open that? If you give me 1 minute, I'll open that.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Chapter 18, Shloka?
Verse number 17.
18.17. Wow. Okay.
In that purport, it is mentioned in the third line, but one who knows the instruments of work, himself as a worker, and the Supreme Lord as a supreme sanctioner is perfect in doing everything. So, Prabhu, like we recently came across who is a doer. So at the time, there are some factors out there in before verses, like the factors or the performer and the place where is the body and the different senses and different kinds of engagements and ultimately the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So ultimately the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can able to execute that desire until that cannot able to execute the desire. So here it is mentioned that instruments of work. So here we can say that instrument of work is the body and himself as the worker. Is it that we can refer to the soul alone or the three modes of material nature which giving us such a facility? Because here I'm having a doubt. And the Supreme Lord as a supreme sanctioner, uh, like ultimately the Lord has to sanction the desire what actually uh, the soul is because the soul is actually identifying that I'm this body. So he is actually wanted to do some material desire, so he has to execute that desire. For that you said that that person should need the material modes of natures and the place everything, and then the sanction of the Lord. So my doubt is like himself as a worker is mentioned. Is it that we understand this one is the soul as well as the three modes of material nature?
Your question is the worker is the soul as well as the modes of material nature.
Yes, 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 Prabhuji.
Okay. I have got your question, but I will quickly read the line which you have a doubt in. The verse says, one who is not motivated by false ego, whose intelligence is not entangled, though he kills men in this world, does not kill, nor is he bound by actions. In this verse, the Lord informs Arjuna that the desire not to fight arises from false ego. Arjuna thought himself to be the doer of the action, but he did not consider the supreme sanction within and without. If one does not know that there is a super sanction, if one does not know that a super sanction is there, why should he act? Okay. But one who knows the instruments of work himself as the worker and the Supreme Lord as the supreme sanctioner is perfect in doing everything. Such a person is never an illusion. Personal activity and responsibility arise from false ego and godlessness or a lack of Krishna consciousness. Anyone who is acting in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the super soul or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though killing does not kill, nor is he affected by the reaction of such killing. When a soldier kills under the command of a superior officer, he is not subject to be judged. But if a soldier kills on his own personal account, then he is certainly judged by the court of law. Okay, so the concept is very clear here that if somebody is acting as per the will of Krishna or as per the will of the super soul, then that is a karma. That is not sa karma or vi karma, that is a karma, and a karma does not generate any reaction. However, your specific doubt is, but one who knows the instruments of work, which can be the senses and the body, correct? Himself as the worker, okay? And the Supreme Lord as the Supreme Sanctioner is perfect in doing everything. Yes. So basically this statement means that they have to know that the spirit soul desires, Krishna sanctions, and material nature executes. So one who has this understanding that I can just desire. The ghosts, they do not have a material body. So they are desiring so many things. But the material nature is not cooperating with them to fulfill their desires. So therefore they are frustrated people. So one who understands that the spirit soul essentially desires, spirit soul is not the doer essentially. He is, like a worker. He is desiring, and based on the karmic account balance. For example, I may desire that I want to sleep in the Rashtrapati Bhavan today. Now, according to my karma balance, it has to be judged. I may desire to sit and chant my japa on the 110th floor of the Burj Khalifa. So, of course, this desire has got nothing to do with Krishna consciousness. But still, if I desire such things stupidly, then the sanctioner, Krishna, will see the karmic account balance, whether I have the punya pratap to be able to be there and get what I want. And after that, so many other things he takes into consideration, past life, samskaras and memories and things like that. And therefore, basically, either he sanctions or doesn't sanction. And when he sanctions, only when he sanctions, the material nature executes. So the statement here is, one who knows the instruments of work, himself as the worker and the Supreme Lord as the sanctioner, he is perfect in doing everything. So, soul is never the doer. It is the modes of material nature which are actually making him look like a doer. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma karta ham iti manyate. He thinks that I am the doer. But actually the modes of material nature are doing everything. The energies of Krishna are doing everything. However, in one way we can call the soul as the doer also, because the desire to do this activity, the seed, the bij of this activity which came through a desire, that desire was originally cultivated by the soul. Sometimes these desires are also coming because of the influence of the modes of material nature. For example, if somebody is in the mode of ignorance, is a chronic drunkard, he may not be feeling like drinking, but as soon as he sees a bottle, because of the influence of the modes of material nature, the desire to drink again may come up, and that is a helpless situation. He can't do anything. So it is little, it's not just black and white. Essentially speaking, the soul desires. Even when somebody is a chronic drunkard and they are in the mode of ignorance, and there is a setup where he's saying 50,000 bottles in front of him, still there is a choice. The element of choice is there. Of course, the mind has overpowered so much that the choice is practically nil, but still, technically speaking, the choice is there. Either he can drink or not drink. So the soul can only desire. The work is performed by the modes of material nature. They are the real doers. Especially devotee of Krishna never thinks himself as a doer. Any activity which he performs, it is Krishna who is doing. Krishna is inspiring all of us to ask such questions, and Krishna is inspiring me from within to give particular answers. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So we are like a guitar, and Krishna is the one who presses some notes, and Krishna is the one who does some kind of a particular beat or a particular RPG, chord and rhythm. Krishna only plays it. So if the guitar starts thinking, oh, I am so great, such nice sound is coming, it's useless. It's Krishna who is the musician, who's playing the music and who's operating the music instrument. So the guitar should never think that I am the instrument or I am the doer. The guitar is just an instrument. Similarly, devotees, Prabhupada, for example, he gave all credit to his spiritual master and Krishna. He only was a humble instrument of Krishna, like that they see. So that is the right understanding. The soul is never the doer. The soul, especially in Krishna consciousness, the soul always thinks themselves as an instrument. The more one becomes surrendered to Krishna, the more one becomes transparent to Krishna, the more is the empowerment, and the more they are able to hear the voice of Paramatma, and the more is the instrumentation in that case. Only fools think that I am the doer. Everything is being done by the modes of material nature after the sanction of Krishna. The spirit soul only desires. But because of the desire, there are so many chain reactions. So ultimately, the responsibility of the good or the bad following the work accountability goes to the spirit soul. Does this answer your question, Mataji? Have I answered your question? Angala Parameshwari Mataji. Oh, I have to unmute you. Okay, one second.
Yes, Prabhuji, I was understood, but I was again got some doubt. You mentioned that himself as the worker sometimes refers to soul, and sometimes it refers to the material modes of nature. And if it actually refers to the material modes of nature, then how we can see that himself as the worker here it comes, because himself is refers to a soul, which actually misidentifying that I'm this body, so I wanted to execute the material desire.
No,
So
this is pure consciousness. See, understanding what are the instruments of work, himself as a worker means himself as an instrument of the desire of Krishna. And you see the context. You see the verse here. The verse is that Krishna is telling you kill. So when we kill on the order of Krishna, one does not get entangled. In that context, Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain that one who understands what are the instruments of work. My knowledge is an instrument, my bow and arrow is an instrument, my body, which is very dexterous, is an instrument, my senses are an instrument. And I am the worker. Why? Because I am the instrument of Krishna. I have voluntarily surrendered to Krishna.
oh, okay.
Supreme Lord is the perfect sanctioner. In that context, you please see, because that is the verse context.
Yes, Prabhuji. Now I was understood. So we have to understand this context as per Krishna consciousness devotee, because
Yes.
the consciousness is actually here. It is mentioned that instrument of work, like and the instrument of work for the Lord. So as he is what actually the Lord is asking us to do to satisfy Him. So
Correct.
that is super soul where we want to do that. So
Correct.
He is actually sanctioning that, and I have to do that. Yes, Prabhuji. Now I was cleared.
So this kind of understanding a non-Krishna conscious person can never have also. So there is no way, or there's no question of trying to understand this in some other context. This is a statement specific for devotees. Okay, so because only devotees can be perfect in doing everything. I hope this further clarifies the question.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. And we have Abhishek Mishra Prabhu. You can please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Are you able to
Hare-
hear me?
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
Okay, so I have a doubt on the 9th chapter, last verse. Okay, where Krishna
Do you
is
want me
saying,
to open the verse?
yeah, that will be nice.
It's very simple. I will just write 9 here. Which verse?
Last one.
What is the number?
Let me check.
What?
34. Yeah. So here Krishna says, engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me. So, like what I was thinking that since our childhood, we have been taught that God actually doesn't ask anything from us. Basically, He's the giver and He showers unconditional love to us, right? So, in this very statement, I mean, it more kind of sounds like he a self glorification.
Demanding.
Yeah, and what generally we speak about ourselves, right? So
Okay, I will suggest you read the purport first.
yeah.
You read the purport of this verse,
Mhm.
and not just this verse, you read 3-4 verses before, 3-4 verses after this, so that you get the context. And then when you read the purport, you'll understand what was the acharyas are explaining with what mood
Mm.
with what mood Krishna has made this statement. In brief, I would like to just give you a hint. When the child of a parent is thoroughly bewildered and is thoroughly in bad association, and sometimes the parents just say that, for the welfare of the child, they just say that just shut up and just do this.
Mm.
Shut up and come home. Just shut up and eat. Just shut up and study. So at that time, the parents also appear very demanding. At that time, the parent also, they basically order the child to do something. The child may again say that my parent have unconditional love for me, which is this and that and blah and blah. So why are they demanding of me? Why can't they accept me the way I am? But still, that sometimes, I don't know these parents do or not, but I got many slaps from my father at many occasions.
Yeah.
I remember the last time he slapped me, I was more than 18 years old. So I cannot tell my father that you accept me the way I am. Sometimes out of love, they want to protect us. They want to save us. They understand that we are such idiots that given our own free will, we will fully exploit it and go to hell. So sometimes they just say, just shut up and just do this. So similarly, here, this statement, the people of the world, they are so fallen, so conditioned. They are so conditioned that they cannot understand what is their best welfare. Previous to this, there is so much discussion on karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyan yoga, ashtanga yoga, blah and blah and blah. So Krishna is mercifully telling. In fact, in the 18th chapter also, 67th verse, he says, 63rd, I forget the verse number, he says, just after explaining the whole Bhagavad Gita mercifully, he just says, just give up all varieties of religions and just surrender unto me. I will give you protection from all sinful reactions. Don't worry. Don't have any doubt that whether I can do or not. I will do it. So why is Krishna making such statements? Out of mercy. But how much these people are getting confused. So if you read this 9th chapter, you will realize that Krishna is trying to make things very simple for us. He's saying, always think of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. People will have a question, how to become a devotee of Krishna? Here is the answer. Always think of him, become his devotee, offer obeisances to him and worship him. And by being completely absorbed in me, you will surely come to me. This is the secret of how to come out of the cycle of birth and death. Out of mercy, Krishna has just said it in one line. So this is not, Krishna is not demanding. Krishna has unlimited devotees in the spiritual world. He does not need you and me. In one way. In one way, yes, he's still waiting for us to return. He's hankering to get our association. More than us, he is more eager to take us home back to Godhead. That is one way to understand. But in another technical way, millions and billions of Lakshmis are serving him, and all the wonderful devotees who are endowed with wonderful love of Godhead, they are all around him all the time. So what value addition will we do? This is another angle of seeing. But out of love and out of mercy, just like a parent sometimes chastises and says, just do this. And if the child follows, he saves himself from so many misfortunes. But that is the mood of Krishna here. To understand further, please read the purport. Okay?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, and we'll take one more question from Deepmala Mataji. Deepmala Mataji, please ask your question. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, I was listening to one of the lecture of Prabhupada few days back now. So I have noted down few lines and I want to ask some questions regarding one of these lines.
But I have not heard that lecture. I don't know the context.
I know, I know it was just heard by me, but I'll read those lines only.
Okay.
So actually, it's he was saying that Brahmanical symbolic representation is given to the men, not to the women. This is the theory.
What was it? Come again.
Brahmanical symbolic representation is given to the men, not to the women. This is the theory. There are three qualities of nature, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So Rajas, Tamas generally, that is the quality of a woman. And men can become to the platform of goodness. Women, they are generally equipped with the qualities of passion and ignorance. And men also may be, but men can be elevated to the platform of goodness. Women cannot be. So actually अभी जो ये lines मैंने बोले,
this is what is the reference? Which are you reading? Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9?
I don't know. Randomly, I got a video and I just.
No, don't go by that way.
Okay.
First, understand the context, Mataji. There are so many occurrences where Prabhupada is systematically, sequentially explaining something, but people who are not very happy with devotional service, they take out a particular aspect. This has come so many times to me. They take out one particular section. They do not see the background explanation which Prabhupada is giving before and afterwards. They take one particular section and they just see the video, and then they get spoiled in their devotional service. Please don't do this. Find out where this lecture is, what is the verse. You please read 2-3 verses before and 2-3 verses afterwards. Otherwise, the mind will get polluted. I'm telling you. And this if you really want to learn something in Krishna consciousness, first thing, this is not just to you, but to everybody. This is what my teachers told me. If you really want to learn Krishna consciousness, don't try to become Krishna conscious by going on the internet. There are so many false theories floating around. There are so many envious people, envious of ISKCON. They are doing so many things. And there are some websites where they have criticized so many.
But naturally, also I have one more question regarding this.
Just let me finish the first answer.
Yeah, sure.
First, you try to find out the reference of this lecture.
Okay.
This lecture. In a video, anybody can just scrap out something and present it in a different way. However, I have understood the question and I know asking. I've heard this lecture, but I will not answer this now because I want you to do further study. Please read the verse first. Please read the purport. Please hear the entire lecture. And even after that, if you have a doubt, then you ask. I'm 100% sure, more than 100% sure, when you read the verse and the purport, and when you hear the entire context, you'll not have this doubt. It is because you have heard it out of context, so therefore you're asking.
Okay.
Clear, Mataji?
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. But first, okay, you can ask.
प्रभु जी, मुझे ये पूछना है कि लेडीज जो है फीमेल, उनको दीक्षा मिलती है कि नहीं? मतलब ऐसा मैंने पहले सुना था कि जब तक आपकी शादी नहीं होती है तब तक आपको दीक्षा नहीं लेना चाहिए, बिकॉज जिस फैमिली में आपकी शादी होगी तो उसके रिचुअल्स और कल्चर फॉलो करने चाहिए. लेकिन आजकल जो देख रहे हैं तो या तो फैमिली मेल ओरिएंटेड है या तो फीमेल ओरिएंटेड है, तो बैलेंस तो कहीं दिखता नहीं है कई बार। तो ऐसे में क्या करें? क्योंकि अभी अगर हस्बैंड की फैमिली में कुछ है ही नहीं कल्चर, तो वो लेडी क्या करेगी?
See, the solution to this is, अगर कोई lady है who wants to practice Krishna consciousness, she should ideally try to get married to a devotee.
बट
That
प्रॉब्लम ये है कि
विचारधारा मिले. One second, let me complete.
ओके
This problem is not a new problem. This is like
या
an age-old problem. So
राइट
we generally advise devotees, whether a male or a female. I have many students who are planning to get into Grihastha ashram. My only advice to them is get married to a devotee. If you don't get married to a devotee, very recently, I met a devotee. He's struggling. He wants to follow Krishna consciousness. He wants to chant. He has children. He has a child, but wife wants to not follow.
राइट
It's a very, very difficult situation. Similarly, I met many women.
राइट
So ideally, if one is serious in Krishna consciousness, they should make their best effort to get married to a devotee. Then it makes things simpler. However, if that is not the case, then one has to go through so much trouble. Husband may support, not support. Wife may support, not support.
तो अगर ये कॉन्सेप्ट देखे तो शादी होगी नहीं फिर तो
नहीं ऐसा
बहुत
नहीं.
रेयर, बहुत मुश्किल ही हो जाएगा क्योंकि
नहीं,
हम लोग
how if you are looking for caste and creed and city and village, हाँ तब शादी नहीं होगा.
तो
There
मैं
is a
एग्जैक्टली
statement that for a Vaishnav, if one is seeing which place he or she has taken birth and what is his caste and all, this is an offense. A Vaishnav is not at the bodily platform. So he should not be seen, or he or she should not be seen that he's a South Indian Vaishnav or a Western body Vaishnav or an Indian body Vaishnav, or he's a this caste Vaishnav, that caste Vaishnav. We are completely preaching against this philosophy of body consciousness. We are eternal servants of Krishna. अगर कोई एक ऐसा व्यक्ति है जो इस तथ्य को तत्वतः समझ पा रहा है या समझ पा रही है कि yes, I am a devotee of Krishna, I am a servant of Krishna, and you are also a practicing devotee of Krishna, you are also a servant of Krishna. Let's both come together in order to serve Krishna and not to gratify our senses. अब अगर इसमें if priority for you is not Krishna, I'm not telling you, I'm just talking in general. If priority for somebody is not Krishna consciousness but caste, creed, city, village, Dahej, and so many other things, just get married wherever the parents are telling, and then struggle there. You don't want to eat non-veg, your husband will force you to cook, and then he will feed it to your child, and then go through all that misery. But to answer specifically your question, are women initiated before marriage? Yes, women can be initiated before marriage. Initiation means when one becomes serious in their Krishna consciousness, he or she can approach a bona fide spiritual master, and if the spiritual master feels कि हाँ ये qualified है, then spiritual master can give. So that is initiation. There is no bar that women can take initiation only after marriage and things like that. If somebody is determined to practice Krishna consciousness, they can do before marriage also. However, in some cases, जैसे अगर I have some friends, they are devotees, but out of family pressure, they got married to non-devotees.
Right.
समय के लिए मैंने उनको बोला कि आप अपना initiation delay कीजिए. You get settled with your wife. First, the wife should learn to appreciate you and understand what you want and how you want to live. Because if you take initiation has some vows. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sexual affairs, and no intoxication. And after marriage, the wife is very nicely cooking onion and garlic and meat, chicken, fish, and eggs. And then how will you follow the vow? So therefore, we say that take some time, 2-3 years, settle, discuss with your wife, encourage her. And even after 2-3 years, if the wife is not ready, then you'd separately take initiation.
Okay.
But ideally, both husband and wife should take initiation together. That is the ideal thing.
तो एग्जैक्टली मैं वही पूछना चाह रही हूँ. बोलते यही थे कि दोनों फैमिली मेंबर्स, मतलब जो भी कपल है, उनको साथ में प्रैक्टिस करना है.
हाँ,
लेकिन
this is
अभी नहीं हो
ideal.
पाता.
This is ideal, but कई बार ऐसा नहीं होता.
हाँ, exactly, नहीं हो
Your
रहा.
wife has taken before husband,
Hmm.
and I know cases where husband is taken before wife, and I also know cases where both are initiated and married.
Hmm.
These are all pros and permutations, combinations are there. Okay. Okay. Anything else, Mataji? Okay, Balaji Mohan Prabhu, you can please ask a question. I request you to keep it really short. The session has extended.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, this is just an extension of the discussion on that we desire Krishna sanctions, right? So, I was thinking, is it that Krishna comes into picture at every desire, or has he made
Yes.
rules or programmed the rules and they automatically happen? And only when it's a special devotee or something like that, he comes into picture.
Krishna does not, he is not programming anything here. Of course, there are energies of Krishna, like Prabhupada told in the lecture. He just desires and things happen. This is not programming. This is far, far beyond programming. I understand.
No, but like this thing was that, does Krishna sees every wish and he personally sanctions that, or are there
Yes.
rules which he has made that
No,
as
no.
as per your karmic this thing, it will automatically happen that way?
Okay. See, Krishna sees both points. And we cannot understand how many variables or parameters Krishna is considering to sanction or not sanction. Generally, it is like Krishna knows. Paramatma is an expansion of Krishna, by the way. Okay. So Paramatma is there in our heart. And the Paramatma sees, okay, what has this living entity is presently desiring this. Okay, the desire is X. And then I'm just trying to do the impossible task. I'm trying to explain the mind of Krishna, which is impossible. I'm just making a insignificant attempt just to make you understand. So Krishna may see, okay, what has been the desires of this living entity in the past 100 lifetimes. Okay, okay. And then Krishna will see what he has done in the past 100 lifetimes. Okay, very nice. And then he will see he has this desire. And then Krishna may see, okay, does he have any karmic account balance to attain this desire? Okay, yes or no, whatever. And then Krishna may see, okay, if he executes this, then what may happen? Then Krishna may calculate what may happen, because he can see everything. What 100 next 100 lifetimes also he can see. And then after that, he may desire something. He may sanction. Sometimes he may sanction, sometimes he may not sanction. Krishna sees that, okay, if he does this activity, he will progress on his path back home, back to God. So he will willingly sanction. But then when he sees that, okay, this activity is not good for him, but still this living entity is every day desiring again and again and again and meditating on it. Okay, it is told in Bhagavad Gita not to do, it is told by the saintly people not to do, but again he is desiring. I cannot take his free will. At any point of time, I cannot take away his free will. So by his free will, he is desiring again and again, and he has not surrendered unto me. So okay, I will sanction it. But the consequences he has to face, because I've already told in Bhagavad Gita not to do. As Paramatma, I'm trying to tell him not to do, but by his own free will, he's trying to desire it again and again and again. So what can I do? Unwillingly, let me give my sanction. So this may be going on. However, those who are surrendered souls to Krishna, I repeat, those who have surrendered souls to Krishna, Krishna feels the obligation, just like a parent. Sometimes when the child is desiring that I want that, because the parent loves the child, so the parent takes the duty to reject the desire of the child. So similarly, those souls who are surrendered to Krishna, Krishna sees, oh, this person has this desire, but it is not favorable for advancement in Krishna consciousness. So Krishna ignores it. He doesn't sanction only. No matter how much you desire, he will not sanction, because he is a soul surrendered to Krishna.
Okay.
Sometimes people, when they become devotees, they have crazy desires. One of my friend was telling me, I want to buy a car. Why? So that I can come to Mangal Aarti every day. What is, if you want to attend Mangal Aarti, there are so many ways. Why do you want to put unnecessary burden to have a car? These are stupid desires. In the name of Krishna consciousness, they do it. Similarly, one may feel that let me work very hard and work like a donkey day and night, earn so much money so that I can give a lot of money to Krishna conscious projects and I can make the whole world opulent and I'll help in construction of so many temples and this and that. So Krishna may not sanction this desire. Krishna may take away all his money also. That you are sincere at heart, you are a soul surrendered unto me, but you still have these traces of material enjoyment. Let me take away all your money so that when you don't have money, your family members will reject you, society will reject you, and then you'll have no shelter. You'll be mistreated by the people. At that time, the only association, help, and shelter you'll have is the devotees. And then when you'll take the shelter of the devotees, at that time, you'll be able to surrender even more to me. So this sometimes Krishna does this. In case of Srila Prabhupada, he did this. His family, not his family, his pharmacy business was running very, very nice. He was like a very well-known man, businessman all over India, and he was moving and highly respectable, many, many companies, many, many houses, flats, and everything. One day, Krishna just took away everything. And then he saw the naked form of material nature after that. All the so-called friends, relatives, family members. When he had money, everybody was with him. When he didn't have money, everybody left him. And then he took shelter of, I mean, he was already a devotee before, but then he took a more serious shelter in consciousness. And then after some time, he took sannyas. And if all this Krishna wouldn't have done in his life, then he wouldn't have traveled all over the world at the age of 70. And then you and me wouldn't have been sitting here and trying to discuss Krishna. So this is my answer to your question. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have our plans. Krishna has his plans.
Yeah.
Sometimes Krishna allows us to execute our plans, but ultimately it is only the divine plan of Krishna which is all the time being executed. We just foolishly sometimes think that plans are being executed. Actually, it is Krishna's plan which is being executed all the time. Okay?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Thursday is Ekadashi. I will send the invite and I request all of you to join for it. More and more people, if they join, it will be good. Okay? Thank you. Hare Krishna.